what is happening with Barack Obama. He is making a speech this morning in Philadelphia, which was going to address, well, I don't know what it's going to address, the whole question of racism in this country. That's a big thing to address. But specifically what has been said by the Reverend Jeremiah Wright, who is the pastor of Obama's church for the past 20 years and has made some very strong and difficult for some people to understand words. Among other things, he said that Israel is a dirty word. He has said, God damn America, for different things that America has done.
He's called the U.S. of KKKA. He's, said essentially after 9/11, and now we're indignant because the stuff we have done overseas is now brought right back into our own front yards. Americans' chickens are coming home to roost. He's made comments that the Reverend, not Obama, and made comments about suggesting that government run by white men, white rich men, has injected HIV into Black Americans. I don't know, suggesting what, but he, he's made these comments, and people are concerned because Barack Obama has been in his church for 20 years.
Well, Barack Obama, and by the way, people forget, yes, he's half black, but he's also half white.
Right.
And he has been soaring above racism, and many people are very pleased and very proud of the fact that he has done that. He has said, when these statements first came to my attention, it was at the beginning of my presidential campaign. I made it clear that I strongly condemned his, Reverend Wright's, comments, but because Reverend Wright was on the verge of retirement and because of my strong links to the Trinity faith community, I did not think it appropriate to leave the church. I categorically denounced his statement, etc. So he's in a very difficult position, and some people are wondering, is it going to affect his, the delegates' vote? But beyond that, the fact that racism has now become such an issue is just something that's so sad for all of us.
But the question is, should he be tainted by the Reverend's words? That is really the discussion.
When he has denounced it.
When he has denounced it, and other people have denounced many things that their campaigns have said.
But he has attended this church for 20 years. This is where I have the problem. He just recently decided to denounce his statements when it's been 20 years of sitting there listening. If you do push-ups for 20 years straight, are you going to have a strong chest? Yes, at the end of 20 years, to suggest that something you've been an active participant in doesn't affect you and doesn't create, who you are, have anything to do with who you are and what your thoughts are, I think that's a bit naive. I also think that, this has been a spiritual advisor. He's baptized his children. He's married, both he and his wife. He took a segment from this Reverend's speech, The Audacity of Hope, and made it the title of his book. To say that he has just now distanced himself concerns me, because I think that they have a long-standing relationship.
But
it's not as though he was passively sitting there in the crowd.
How many people, nobody can even say that they have people in their family that are crazy. How many people you got that uncle that you lock up in the attic because you know he is crazy?
Are they running for the president? Are they running for the presidency?
But that's not what Obama has said. He has said, I do not agree with his statements, and that he is not the only pastor in that church.
Why keep going to the church? I went to a church where I found out that the heads of the church were up to things that were not good, okay?
No.
And I left. I said, I don't want to be a part of that
I want to speak to that because my family still is Catholic, and they object to the pedophilia scandal in the Catholic Church vehemently, as you can imagine. That does not stop them from going to church.
Is the same pastor preaching?
It is not one or another pastor. Cardinal Law, who was one of the perpetrators of pushing these priests to another parish, is now working at the Vatican under the Pope. So that doesn't mean that my aunt and my uncles agree with that position of the Catholic Church, but they go to church because they want to light a candle, because they believe in God, and they believe in Christianity. So
would you attend this church with him saying the things he said?
You can't indict my family because they go to a church that committed sins.
What about the fact that
it's about God?
Mitt Romney was running for president until he stepped down and said, John McCain is the man that I believe can most properly lead this country in a time of war. People were all over him because he was a Mormon, okay? We examined that under a microscope every single day. There were jokes cracked, there were things examined. To not examine his past, not examine the people that are his spiritual advisors, I think is wrong. We should be examining
What we are doing now is having an examination. And Barack Obama is addressing this morning. And the sad thing is that he is a very, this is not a sad thing, this is a good thing. He is a very decent man who has tried throughout this whole dialogue, or throughout all of the campaigning, to rise above
And
racism.
to be a uniter.
And to be a uniter. And the Reverend, who has divided, and we can even see the way Cherry reacts and the way others, we can understand that that is now a divisive issue. And we can hope that we can rise above this and that it does not taint Barack Obama. And there are questions about why didn't he leave and why did he stay,
Well, maybe he'll
and what
answer
his
that.
allegiance are, and so
Let's
forth.
see what he says.
But what troubles me the most is, as I say, this is a good man, Barack Obama. Just as Hillary Clinton is a good woman, and there are sexist remarks. And to see what started off to be the most inspiring kind of race, with a woman and a black both so much admired, and to see it now for this reason separating on racial lines, black versus white, is terribly painful. And I just have to hope that, and hope that when Barack Obama talks today, it puts some of it to rest, that we can go beyond it and find out what's good for this country.
Right.
We have so many problems in this country.
He has a
We're
chance to do
5
that.
years into the Iraq War. Let us rise above this and not have it divide us on racial or sexist terms.
It would be nice.
I have a feeling today he will do just that. I have a feeling he'll
Let us
address
hope
it,
so.
and then we will see how he deals with this sort of controversy now, which could indicate how he deals with it in the future.